So hello everyone and welcome to the PSS 4. I'm Michael Hype. I'm joined by Bryan Manolakos, who is sitting in this round in the booth, and next round he will be playing. We are working through some tech issues, some sound issues, so we've found a workaround and hopefully it's bearable for the time being. But how's it going, Bryan?
It's going pretty well. I'm sorry I couldn't have been of more help for these tech issues, but I'm probably the worst person you want trying to troubleshoot anything on a computer, so I apologize for my lack of expertise.
Yeah, I a lot of things is I just do it by trial and error, and I'm only comfortable with the things that I've done. And so when
Yeah.
something breaks, I'm not that good at fixing it. All right, let's jump over to the bans for these players. So the three decks that these players brought were the This Girl, which is comparable to uh, Star Spangled Slaughter, The Rock, a favorite of mine, and then Counter Parfait, which is pretty similar to the what Parfait, but it has a lot more blue cards and has more counter spells than the typical Parfait list. And then Ryan Grodzinski brought Tradewind Survival, Enchantress, and Stasis. And so Brian had his Rock deck banned, and Ryan Grodzinski had his Stasis deck banned. So BK is the real hero for banning Stasis, so that people
Yes.
don't have to see that. But I kind of like Stasis, but maybe we'll see it eventually. There are two Stasis decks in the PSS. So with these, we can see that BK has selected to play. He is playing the Counter Parfait deck.
Nice.
So at the core, this deck is a scroll rack land tax deck, and if you're not familiar with that, is you get to get three basic lands pretty much every turn if you're triggering land tax, and then scroll rack allows you to see a ton of cards, and you conveniently can put those basics back so that the next turn you can search them with land tax again. So your hand is like increasing in size. You're seeing a ton of cards, and then the rest of the deck is just kind of finding some answers, and then really the threats are like very light. So the counters there's so swords, counter spells, and foils are all answers to things. There's Guy's Blessing to reshuffle its threats, and then the actual way to win, I think, is spontaneous generation. So
I
that
just
is
Googled it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
So that is a 4 mana sorcery from Mercadian Masks, and you put a 1/1 sapling token or green token for each card in your hand. So basically, it's a way to get multiple threats. And I mean, if you need to cast it more than once, there's Guy's Blessing. But pretty much this deck is just looking to control the game and kill slowly. So
Yeah, this is very similar to Rich Shay's Parfait deck, but minus the Oath Engine plus some counter spells for the most part.
okay.
Couple little issues, or a couple little differences around the margins, but that's it in a nutshell.
And let's go over to the deck that Ryan picked. He picked Enchantress. So Andrew Walker is cheering right now. He's jumping up and down. Andrew Walker, a um, long important member of the pre-modern community and also a big Enchantress fan. So what this deck
Yes.
is trying to do is play Argothian Enchantress or Enchantress Presence, which draw cards when you cast enchantments. And so that will kind of set up the engine. And then it's just going to kind of slowly build up, and eventually it just really goes crazy and can really churn through its deck, kind of lock out the opponent from certain angles. And then there's different ways that these decks can win. Sometimes it's Opalescence and Parallax Wave. Sometimes they use Words of War, which Ryan does have. Or I've seen feel like there's another. Oh, sometimes you just like cycle Decree of Justice or use Sacred Mesa. Really,
Or Sacred Mesa.
yeah, the way to win is not that important. It's just kind of lock everything down and kind of grind out card advantage. So, do you have any inclination on who you think has an edge in this? Because it's pretty interesting how these are going to line up. I guess you can also just
My
let the players know that they can get started as we
Oh yeah,
check.
I'll tell them right now,
Since
real quick. Yeah, my initial thought comes from when Flores and I commentated on one of the what was it, the Lobster Con top eight. It was when Rich was playing against, I forgot his name, on Enchantress, and Yeah, and so Mike came in hot with the take that Enchantress could never win in a million years. And this is obviously that's hyperbolic. We know Mike, he's hyperbolic, which is something I can appreciate. I'm kind of the same way. But I think that even if it was hyperbole, there's a lot of truth to it, and these decks are very similar to those two decks. The win cons are slightly different. The last 8 cards are slightly different. I'm not sure if having like counterspells over oaths probably only increase the matchup for the Parfait deck. So I think Parfait is probably a pretty good favorite here.
Yeah, I think it just has the more of the tools. Oh, I should get this. Sorry, this. I have the driver update like on screen, just blocking everyone's view. um, yeah. And though I can see. Oh, I have them switched around too.
So these guys drew their hands like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, they've
just been thinking about their lines.
Yeah,
So if anybody's waiting now to make a turn 1 land drop or something, like we have issues.
Yeah, they should have everything planned out. So BK is going to start out with a land tax, and that's part of his engine, so it's going to allow him to get more lands. If Ryan is willing to play an additional land, which
exploration not the best thing to come out of the gates with against land tax. It does next to nothing here, and BK kind of has it all right. Is exactly what he wants. Didn't have to tutor for a single part.
Oh, yep, just had everything naturally, so.
Let's see. I mean, Ryan can't do nothing here. He might just have to go for this and let BK tax a couple of times, yeah. He has to, yeah. He can't just do nothing.
Yeah, the Undiscovered Paradise is really nice because it allows you to, like, use play a land, but then it also gets to get picked up to trigger land tax, so.
Right, and he's able to get his scroll rack land tax engine online with essentially 1 land in play, so he can get up to all of his shenanigans, which basically means Ryan is forced to just make a move. And he did. He played a turn 2 Enchantress's Presence, which is, just about the best thing he can do. Hope he can dodge a disenchant effect and do his thing.
Yeah, so like what Ryan's going to look to do is try and set up a spot where he's getting multiple Enchantress's Presence or Gothian Enchantress, so that like every enchantment that he adds to the board is like really churning through, and he's able to, like, he'll get to like turn 4 or 5 and he'll be able to play like 5 or 6 enchantments in a turn. He will, if he gets his engine going, but well, we do see a Seal of Cleansing out of BK.
That's humongous. I think is that his only seal? Kowal has main deck Seal of Cleansing 1. Must be nice. So that's insane, right? I mean, if he doesn't have that, I don't know. All I know is that Ryan has a fighting chance with his Presence in play, and now it seems like he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple copies of that type of effect, and like Enlightened Tutor goes and get it. Well, the Sterling Grove would have been nice to have the turn before, but I think the mana curve like is you just run out the Enchantress so that you can get value off of it. But Sterling Grove is a good way to protect against a card like Seal of Cleansing.
And I think given that BK only plays one seal and 1 aura, which he can only cast off of Mox, it feels safe to run that out there. But yeah, the 1-off, and sometimes they just have it, right?
Yep, yeah. So the players do know the deck list. So yeah, knowing kind of like the odds of or that they do just have like the 1 seal, and yeah, it's not fun for Ryan to have it for BK to have it, but yeah, I like the play anyways. So
yeah, you have to. We didn't come to a PSS to lay up, right? We're gonna jam. Now we just sit around and watch BK freaking massage his deck for 12 turns, though. I don't know how fun that's going to be, but
that might happen a little bit in this match.
Yeah. Hopefully we can make up some time because the Sly Mirror in the next match is going to be quick and dirty.
Oh, Sterling Grove is getting used. I would think that you're just putting Enchantress's Presence on top.
Yeah. His only chance to do anything in this match is to get his engine going, and maybe BK doesn't have a counter. Who knows? How many actual counter spells does he play? 3?
I think 3 counter spells and then 3 foil, I think is the...
Right, foil would be... I guess he's taxed already, so foil's still fine. So
I mean, the other thing he can do is like get Guy's Blessing and shuffle back that seal, and then try and destroy it like that way too.
Arena counterspell. I think I'm a believer of that. That's probably the right counterspell in a vacuum, unless you have some insane tech to play. That's a perfect pre-modern counterspell.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I actually got some of those in 1996 from playing Arena. I don't have a full set, but I have a bunch of Arena basics and disenchants and counterspells and fireballs and all that shenanigans that I won playing Arena leagues.
And that you never get to use because you play a lot of old school.
Yeah, exactly. But pre-modern's a spot for them.
All right.
And I have these. I have a test print counterspell. I have a test print disenchant shit that I can't play in old school. So like, this is basically the reason why I'm hanging on to pre-modern, right? Just an outlet for my test prints.
Yeah, just to show off. That's the best reason.
Exactly. Okay, so this is really, really bad for Ryan, right? He had two of his 8 engine cards dealt with, and BK is scroll racking and taxing every turn. If we had an advantage bar, where's BK's percentage to win this match right now?
Well, the silver lining from Ryan's perspective is BK doesn't close the door very quickly. I mean, I guess we could see like a spontaneous generation. I don't know how many cards are exactly in BK's hand, but there's going to be time for Ryan to draw more cards and find something to do. So that, I guess, is the good thing for Ryan. But yeah, as each turn goes, like BK's hand's going to get bigger. He's going to sculpt things, and like until he really just slams the door, Ryan's got a fighting chance. But yeah,
right. I mean, he's actually ancestraling every turn. It's not like, oh, he's land taxing and drawing 3 cards. It's ancestral. It's not really ancestral. Now he's literally drawing 3 brand new cards every turn. So, like you said, every turn this kind of gets more and more out of hand, and I'd say like he has maybe 1.5 more turns to maybe do something, and if BK has a counter for his next play, he might just concede. I know it's game 1 of the PSS, but he doesn't have counter. Okay. Now he has replenish. That's a card that does things. Okay. Let's see here. Has 3 replenish. Okay, so he has more outs than I thought. He has 11 main deck outs for cards that do things at this point. I guess Sterling Grove kind of does, but like whatever. Like tutoring for an enchantment is so bad in this matchup.
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to do my tech stuff at the same
fine.
time.
By all means, take care of the tech. I will keep talking. I never shut up, so this is perfect.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is that there's like 4 different drivers or something that I have to install, so I don't know exactly how this goes.
Yes, by all means, do what you have to do. BK Enlightened Tutoring right now. I don't know if this is, I presume this is his upkeep. I don't know what he's actually getting, like maybe Orb Silence. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. That's a pretty good one against the old Enchantress deck. Yeah, I don't know. Like if I'm Ryan, I guess the 3 replenishes do help give him out, but like whatever, man. I'm an aggressive conceder, and I'd basically be conceding now. I know it's game 1 of the PSS, so it feels so bad to concede.
Sure.
But like, come on.
Oh, the life totals have changed. I guess I need to update that.
I don't know if you
I was say this is probably not a magic or a matchup where that it's very important, but
want to pick up that aura. Yeah. I'm still not exactly sure. All right, so it was his main. So he's playing the aura, shields down, except for the obvious foil in his hand. But he has aura in play. I mean, whatever. The sum. How does it stack? If you replenish Enchantress's Presence and Sterling Grove, can you like stack it all so you draw a card, or can you aura and probably can aura in response? So
well, Enchantress Present won't trigger from replenish. It's not when they come into play; it's when you cast them.
Oh,
so.
Then never mind. Pretend I said nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, the old 4-mana Enlightened Tutor. Nice, nice.
This one at least protects, I guess, but.
It does, but then he has to sack his protection to draw a card that does something,
Sure.
And now he's just going to Ancestral again, and Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. BK's deck looking hot coming out of the gates. Drawing that seal was insane. Think about how different this game is if he doesn't have that seal.
Yeah.
Every one of these cards, every single card he's played so far, cantrips. That Ryan plays will be cantripping. I guess he probably had some other lines. He could have more aggressively maybe tutored for like an aura or a seal, but he would have gotten one or two draws out of it, and it would have made BK's draws more awkward. But as it stands, it's just his draws lining up completely perfectly. How do we feel about BK's islands? One Mirage Island and one, what is it, the Tempest Storm Island?
I think that's the from the Urza Saga ones. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Saga? Yeah, the Saga Storm. That's not, is that Mirage? The one with the palm tree, I think
Yes, that one is Mirage, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about these. I'm fine with mismatched lands. But those seem kind of random. Those seem like he just like went to like a random pile of lands he had and was like,
he just went to a store, he found his land box, and he just
yeah,
I think he does have I did think he does have a box of just like pre-modern era lands, so maybe he just grabbed from there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or some people have stories between all their basic lands and they are particular about which ones. I like to have all the same art, so
I know the Storm one, the one on the right, is very popular. It's a lot of people's favorite land, especially in like the mono blue Stormy decks. But even outside of that, it's like a tier 1 island for sure. That middle one, I don't know if I've ever seen it since I stopped drafting Mervlight in 1997. So, Jesus Christ. So BK's still with a full grip, basically, after playing 2 more Mox Diamonds, 1,000,000 mana, 1,000,000 cards, all of them fresh. His whole engine online. Is he thinking about... Okay, yeah, he's putting that on top, yeah. What he's thinking about is discard. So, Ryan draws his card, plays his 5 mana, get countered card. Okay, Naked foils it, yes, GG's.
all right, do you think this will I guess at what point well you said you were aggressive at how soon you'll concede, but
Ryan keeps showing cards that are like approaching must countery, right?
Sure.
Albeit it costs him 2 cards. Like he spends 10 mana and 2 cards to play 1 must counter spell. Meanwhile, BK is ancestraling every turn. So like I don't know, like I guess he has outs. He's not 99%, but he's like 96%. If you ask Flores right now, Flores is like, what the fuck is even going on here? Concede. But which I basically agree with. I mean, this is assuming that DK knows how to play Magic the Gathering, which I believe he does. Oh wow, the old
Phyrexian Furnace.
Yeah, the main deck Replenish Smasher. He listened to your tech from the pod. He snuck in a Miser's main deck Furnace.
Yeah, he didn't want to die to Solitary for Confinement Squee.
Exactly, yeah.
I think this deck might be okay against that lock.
Yeah, it's probably not the scariest card for him.
But that is a good segue because you did adapt that technology, and you do have a Phyrexian Furnace in your Sly deck.
I do. It's like one of the better cards in my Sly deck in this mirror match coming up, right? Because it does something. Like I can't really play Pup. I can't really play fucking Sulfuric Vortex. I can't play Price of Like at least Furnace does something.
Okay.
You know. So it's like probably in my top 50 cards, which is just embarrassing. So Ryan has he has actual 1 card in his hand?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, yep.
Alright, so it's 2 taxes. Man, this is making Parfait decks just look so glorious.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially when you're able to answer the opponent's threats, and you have your engine going, like, it is just very powerful. We have a Replenish, alright, so if...
I mean, he's fighting through counters. That's the third, right? That's the 4th counter. Okay. I mean, when you're drawing 4.5 new cards, okay, he conceded. Okay. Yep. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, so Ryan's had enough after all of his key cards have pretty much been answered, whether it was a disenchant effect or a counter spell. A clean, convincing victory for the first game for BK with the Parfait deck, the counter Parfait. I can bring up the deck so we can look at what the players have options for sideboarding. So I see 4 copies of Annul at the top of the sideboard for BK, so I'm guessing things are going to get better, and there's a Ray of Revelation, so
Jesus.
This is unfortunate for Ryan, because I mean cards like Wrath of God and I guess Swords of Polishers I guess are coming out. Well, maybe you leave in the Wrath because that deck actually could take out a Argothian Enchantress, right. But I think I think BK's deck is going to get significantly better.
Right. I mean, just think about trading swords for a null. I mean, Jesus Christ, that
Yep.
alone is insane.
Well,
One drop for one drop.
And even adding a card like Sylvan Library might be something that he can do because
Yeah.
his life total is not really pressured, and he can just convert that into cards to get things going. I mean, he already does have his engine with the land tax and scroll rack, but adding the libraries might be a possibility. All right, let's look at Enchantress.
Let's see if there's anything he can do.
I mean, a Carpet of Flowers. I think there's 4 islands or something, but I guess I don't think mana is really the issue in this. It's more of threats and counter spells. So
I don't know. I mean, maybe
Seal
City of Solitude.
Yep, I mean, like
Seal Cleansing, obviously.
Seal Cleansing, Aura Silence. City of Solitude is a very interesting card because if it comes down, then you feel very safe. It's like another must counter threat. But
might just be so slow, right? If he's getting to a point where he can play City of Solitude and then try and do something potent, like, I don't know, I feel like he probably already won that game, or he's just buried and it won't matter.
Well,
so,
I mean, you could just try and like run it on turn 3, and then if they don't have the counter in that spot, then you can untap and try and go off from, or like get things going from there. But
it's kind of must countery, right? You know,
yep.
like given, okay, I can. I mean, it's probably better than some jank he has in his deck, right? Like I'm assuming. Actually, what are his last couple cards? He has 3 replenishes. I don't know, like Sterling Grove. Like there's the tutor. Sterling Grove is actually okay. The tutors are real bad against counter decks, obviously. Maybe he like gets rid of that Enlightened Tutor. Cuts Solitary. Both doesn't do anything. So yeah, he could clean up his margins a little bit, but it's nothing like the insane power up that BK is doing. His deck's getting marginally better. And BK's deck is getting a lot better.
I've been convinced to purchase this or upgrade to their premium version, so I don't have to.
How much was it?
It's $30 a year. I get 3 PC license. So
okay, I'll chip in for it. Okay, this is unbelievable. Yeah. I'm sure the chat would chip in a fucking hot second. Can everybody donate 50 cents? Come on, everybody.
I'm sure I would have been able to
send Hoyp a quarter in the mail in an envelope. Okay, just post your address in the chat. Okay, Hoyp.
I'm sure I would have been able to do everything like actually without this if I had more time, but given I'm kind of doing something.
Yeah, dude. We can if you want to, we can just keep going like this, and we can try and fix it for.
Yeah.
Oh, look. I don't know what's happening, but Flint's gifting things to. See, I'm such a boomer. I don't even know like what this means to gift somebody a tier 1 sub. That is fucking Sanskrit to me.
So,
I have no clue what that means.
So do you know what a subscription is? So.
Kind of.
So it's a way to support like a Twitch streamer, and like you if you subscribe, you get like a month-long subscription. You don't have to watch ads on their channel, and then you get like perks. So like a lot of times emotes is the perks.
Okay, so if you subscribe to a channel, you get perks and you skip ads.
Yep.
Let's just make sure. Let's make sure they're not playing. Hold on, I didn't even check.
They're not. They're not. I still can see them. I mean, I guess I can switch back to this screen.
Oh yeah. So educate me about Twitch.
Yeah, and so right now, Flint has instead of buying it for himself, as he is already a subscriber, he is basically purchasing it for other people. So it randomly assigns it to people that are in the chat. I don't know exactly, and it's not even to the chat. It's people who've watched the stream, because I've gotten gifted subs when I'm not even on a channel before.
Let's see. Let's nip this in the bud and see what's going on. Ryan leading with Forest Wild Growth into Kowal's Plains Go. So in a much better spot now. Enchantress Land Enchantment. That could be something. Oh no, Enchantress Go. Still not bad.
Yeah, I mean, the Enchantress is pretty safe. So
yeah. Oh, he might have an enchantment. This could be insane. If he's a 1-man enchantment here, this is humongous. Look at him, he's old school. He touches his Enchantress like you have to announce triggers. Come on, we're all friends here. Holy shit. Go. No counterspell online. I mean, I guess he could play a foil, but like that would be insane. Playing right into Kowal's Wrath of God. Enchantress is like a legit deck. For those of you watching that don't follow Premodern as in depth as many, which, you know, a group that includes myself, Enchantress is actually a fucking banger of a deck. This is not something like he's not messing around here. It's basically a tier 1 deck. It's won a bunch of events. It's insanely potent. You're seeing its potency right now.
Yeah, it's definitely doing what it's trying to do in this instance, and the draw that BK has allowed it to. I guess we saw the first game that the Seal of Cleansing got in the way, and then the counter spells prevented him from doing what he wanted. But this game, Ryan he's in the driver's seat.
What's funny is everything changed. Like if Ryan had an Enchantress instead of an Enchantress's presence last game, also everything changes because you can't seal it. I mean, he has the one Wrath main, and that's basically it, right? Like I don't know. This is a clinic the other way already. You know, like unless BK goes Mox Wrath here, I'm not sure how he's gonna beat this. Oh, he annulled. Okay.
So
draw 2.
Yeah, I would say even though Argothian Enchantress on the text it says whenever you successfully cast, that's not what it is. So I guess
yes,
he successfully cast but did not.
Format, we don't play the cards as written.
Yeah, successfully cast, not successfully resolve, I guess. Argothian is an insane card. Where does it rank among best pre-modern creatures? I will say that the bar is pretty low for pre-modern creatures.
Yeah.
So like, this one is definitely like an engine. Like how many other like creature engine cards are there? I can't think of that many.
The turtle card.
Sure.
Dreadnought is kind of an engine in some decks.
Yep.
But there's not many.
Right above Mesmeric Fiend.
Speaking of Mesmeric Fiend, I cannot believe Cole's 4D for Fiend monstrosity.
I mean,
I don't understand.
He's well aware of the
Like,
dysynergy.
it's so obviously bad that I'm obviously wrong on this, but like I just can't get over the level 1 thinking of what are we doing here, blowing up our own fiends. That was off topic though. We gotta watch Ryan do his thing. He's crushing it. Jesus Christ.
We got a Seal of Cleansing. This one's from LobsterCon. I believe Ryan got that for
Spice finish.
It might have been best T-shirt or something like, or it might have been just like best deck because he brought the Battle of Wits deck to LobsterCon.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what he got it for. There were multiple things that if I don't remember the qualification, but he could have won it for. So
right. He could have won dozens of prizes that weekend.
No, the entry prize was Psychotog.
Yeah.
Oh, for day 2? Okay. Day 2 event.
This would be a really insane Wrath of God right now, I will say.
Yeah, well, first of all, we don't even know if it's still in the deck.
It has to be in the deck. It has to be. But, like, I mean, he had his Miser's copy of a card last game. I wonder how many... Ryan still must have, like, 6 cards in his hand. So he would still be okay, but, like, I don't even know at this point. Do you even play that third Enchantress? I honestly don't know. I guess if you were going to play another enchantment right now, whatevs.
All right, we see a Sylvan library, so that is going to add to the card advantage. Yeah.
But this is it. This isn't a pipe dream in pre-modern. You know, like, this is what this deck does. Like, there's duress, Cabal Therapy, but there's not a ton of ways to interact with this. So you can go under it. You can try and beat it quick. But if you're trying to play a fair fight against it and it starts doing these things, he's in trouble. And he doesn't have, Cole doesn't have, like, Armageddons like Richey had, right? I don't think he does. So he doesn't really have ways to sort of catch up in these scenarios other than this one Wrath of God. But at this point, Ryan still has a full grip and a fresh Sylvan and a Seal of Cleansing and Wrath. Wrath only like sort of evens things out.
So Rich in the chat was asking. He said Ryan is drawing a ton of cards, but like what cards actually matter in this matchup? So it kind of boils down to a few cards matter in the sense of like a card like Silly Solitude prevents like is a must counter because it prevents future counter spells. But really the cards are Replenish because that can kind of reset everything as well. But then Words of War is the card that a win condition that Ryan would look to put into play, and then every card that he draws from there he can convert with 1 mana to 2 damage to BK. So the most important card at some point is Words of War. It's not super important because usually the engine's just so powerful that you can get to it when you want to because of Sterling Grove or Enlightened Tutors or just drawing a bunch of cards. So it's really going to come down to I think Ryan's Words of War, he might also have Opalescence and Parallax Wave, which then Opalescence just would turn all his creatures or his enchantments into creatures.
How
then you
do
can
you
attack.
feel about the fact that he only has like 3-ish cards that do anything, and BK could just counter those cards and it won't matter, right? Is that BK's line here? Save his 3 counters for the Words of War and the Opalescences, and I guess the Replenishes too at some point, but like he can just do that. Like if only 3 cards matter.
Yeah, it's a thought, but the problem is like from this position, Ryan has so many cards that he's drawing. Like BK would have to have like a bunch of islands. Yeah, like it's very hard to set up that hand, and without any engine from BK.
He had so much mana at that point too that he could just play a bunch of them in 1 turn.
Right.
And BK can only counter like 1.5 times tops. So anyway, another aggressive concession. These guys know what's up. They get it.
Yeah. So I think the plan, what I'm going to do is keep you on the phone, and then I don't think we'll be able to chat with these players after the match, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do an intermission where I can try and I think figure out installing the drivers, and I'm hoping that will work. Otherwise, we're just going to continue with this kind of phone call thing with Flores. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think it's certainly better than nothing, and I think the sound quality from everybody sounds like they can hear you fine. So.
It's fine, man. People are going to put up with this for the best Magic content on the web, right? It's the least they could do.
Yeah.
I don't think they change much play draw, sideboard-wise in these matchups. They know what they're doing. They just need to draw their cards. And this is really, like, it's very clear that so far this has come down to draws, right? Like, how their draws line up against the other person's draw. And I guess, still, gun to my head, I'm definitely betting on Kowal. But we just saw what Ryan could do, you know?
Yeah, I guess the real key card kind of seems like Argothian Enchantress, just because that one is so much more difficult to answer. Like the cards like Annul do not answer it. Seal of Cleansing and Aura Silence don't do anything. And so that one is a lot easier. And it also costs 2 mana, so Ryan is more likely to sneak it under. Because a card like Counterspell for BK's deck does not come online all the time. I mean, there are Mox Diamonds, but there's... I guess there's Undiscovered Paradise and Islands, and I guess it's just not a given that he'll have like blue on turn 2.
A turn 2 counterspell is pretty rare, especially when he wants to lead on land tax. You know, like it's just not going to happen very often. What is he? Does he have even like a Miser's? Where's the lists? Black Parfait. He has an Engineered Plague. That must be in his deck. I forgot about that one, but that's clearly in his deck.
That's definitely a very key card because, that is a good answer to the Argothian.
That's what I was just wondering. I'm like, does he not have access to that? But he does. And, I mean, we glossed over that before, but it's very clearly. Probably the Wrath is in, too. You know, like, he just can't afford to fuck around. He brought in a Sylvan. We know he brought that, and we know he brought in Plague. He probably brought in 4 Nulls, and there's a good chance he brought in Wrath. So those are his sideboard slots. Good thing he has 4 unusable Swords of Plowshares to make these cuts fairly easy. He doesn't really need a 3rd Blessing either. You know, there's some cuts. You know, like Ivory Tower, pretty shitty. Humility, garbage. So there's some easy cuts. God, his deck gets so much better.
Yeah, definite improvement.
And he's on the play.
The thing with like BK's deck is, I mean, I feel like he's able to keep most hands because he's not really looking for one particular thing to kind of really take advantage. It just kind of he has enough value cards like the annuls and the disenchants, and if he can get his scroll rack land tax engine, then I think he's sitting pretty. But I guess it's hard to think of a hand that he's not willing to keep, kind of.
I mean, it'll only be lack of mana. His entire deck is gas at this point, right? It's
Sure.
all insane answers and or his engine, right? So like unless he draws a ton of mana or no mana or like literally spontaneous generation and a couple of garbage cards, like he's gonna keep.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's sadly mulliganing in game 3 here, but it's fine. He can clearly get that card advantage back fairly easily, as we just saw. I do feel like these, and I know there's no real good way to do this, but like getting access to that second mana on turn 1 out of an Enchantress deck sounds so valuable, but like you have to play garbage cards to do it, right? You can't even really play Mox 9 when you don't play any lands. So you have to play like Elvish Spirit Guide or something, and it's just like, it's not good enough. But if there was some better way to do that, it would be, it would really behoove these decks.
The time that I've played the deck, like the wild growths in there have been very good. I've seen some lists play like even fertile growth, which is basically just a more expensive wild growth. But the wild growths have been very good in the deck because it accelerates you. It allows you to maybe play a turn 2 Enchantress's Presence, and then like in the mid game when you already have one of those type of cards in play, it just cycles and then will boost your mana for future turns. But
yeah, the sad thing is though it doesn't help you cast it on turn 1.
Right.
But still, I agree. It's super important. Oh, okay, land go. I guess I'll draw 3. So Ryan Mulligans plays. I mean, he can't not do this, right? He has to play something into this. So Kowal flying out of the gates. We'll have Counterspell up on turn 2.
All right. As much as we talked, that might be difficult. It looks like he has that, and he still has the land tax that we talked about. That might be the reason why you wouldn't have it. So.
It was going to have a full grip. I'll clear island go here. Oh god. Oh god.
Do you think Ryan maybe he can resolve a null rod?
Yeah, I don't think he's bringing those in.
I think.
How good is null rod? Like it's really only though. Oh, he's
No,
scroll rack.
the scroll rack.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yep.
I apologize. You're absolutely right. You can see I don't know my way around this format that well. I don't know why you invited me.
What a better place to learn, just playing against the best. So.
Right. If only we had a little more time, I wanted to ask people how to sideboard in the Sly matchup. Like, chat, what's the worst card of the Sly mirror? What's worse? Pup, Vortex, Zeranorb, or Price of Progress?
You don't,
I know they're all
wait,
terrible.
You don't have Zeranorb, do you?
I'm not Zeranorb, fucking Tormos Crypt, the other 0.
Yeah.
Zeranorb would be insane.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm like that. I was saying. Flint says Pup. I don't know.
They're all terrible. I think Pup is the worst. I agree. But I don't know. Like, Sulfuric Vortex does literal nothing. Oh, God. Oh, God. He even had the annul.
Annul.
Doing it again.
A null response to the Sterling Grove.
If he plays Scroll Rack here, I guess maybe Ryan will have one turn to do something, even though he'll still have Counterspell mana up. But he's looking extremely dead.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I think he has a few turns to the point where, like, if you... Because it's not like... Yeah, he might find one Counterspell. But then if Ryan has 2 or 3 threats over the next few turns, like, I don't know if BK is necessarily going to be able to find that many Counterspells or answers. I guess it depends on which ones, because some are more answerable than others.
Exactly. And it depends on him finding a Scroll Rack to turn all these lands into actual cards, right? So his hand looks juicy now, but it's probably like 2 cards and 5 garbage lands. So he really needs the Scroll Rack.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the devil?
Yes, there we are.
Yeah. All right, well, he still didn't get to filter quite yet, so he's keeping Counterspell up. Yeah, no rod would be D's here. We could somehow resolve one.
All right, Ryan is going to go for an Aura Silence, so...
Doesn't seem long for this world, yeah. What a dream and all. Oh. And he still has a mana left to activate Scroll Rack. Jesus Christ.
So Ryan gets
I
to
like
be
how.
idle for most of this time while Brian kind of gets to do his thing. So
Well, they're taking turns, right?
yeah.
Game one, Ryan just cast a single 5 mana do nothing into Kowal's counterspells. Game two, Ryan did his entire thing while Kowal said land go, and so they were even. And now it's kind of back to the game one routine.
Yeah, now the powerful engine of land tax and scroll rack, yeah, because every turn he's just
It's just insane. It fits. I feel like it's underplayed. Like it should be in more shells than it is. It's really only in these Parfait lists, but there's probably like like aggro control lists with that engine, right? It's just so fucking good.
the biggest downside is that one, if you're, I mean, not that it's like a downside to play Mox Diamond because obviously that goes very well with these type of cards, anyways. But you can't look to like really play expensive spell if your plan is like land tax because you don't want to be playing a bunch of lands. And then also the problem is some decks are just fast. There are combo decks, and not that I mean the Enchantress deck I wouldn't call it slow, but it's definitely slower than like the real combo decks or the real aggressive decks. And if you're kind of setting up shop, spending the first few turns with land tax and scroll rack, some of the like more aggressive or powerful decks can take advantage of those very passive turns, we'll call it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just thinking about that one meltdown in my sideboard. I'm gonna fuck Kowal up with that card. Look at this board. Miser's Meltdown. Even Rich Shea put in a Miser's Meltdown in his slide list, so I know I at least did something right. Rich, if you're listening, I'm bringing in that Meltdown against you too. I'm gonna melt your scrolls so fucking quick. I'll melt my own crits too, but whatever. Oh my god.
Rich heard your message, so
He knows everything I'm doing. It doesn't matter. Like he obviously knows.
all right. I am hoping for a spontaneous generation. Can we?
Yeah, same. We just see one on camera.
Yeah. Do you?
It's too early. It's too early though.
Um.
Is he land taxing for an Order of Silence? Is he Bachmaning? Is he going full Dave Bachman here? That would be really impressive. No, wait. Can't tell if he did.
Do you think BK will have? I'm still on the spontaneous generation train of thought.
Okay.
Will he have sweet tokens, or will he just have face down cards?
I don't know. I really don't know him well enough to have a good read. I am mad. So he owns a card store.
Yeah.
But also, he's clearly a man who gives no. Look at his fucking lands, right? So like, I don't know. I kind of think he might just grab whatever's lying around. But this is the PSS, so maybe he went out of his way to actually get something nice. I don't know.
I don't know if because I think the actual like the invasion sapperling tokens are kind of expensive, and this is kind of a deck unless you're just going to use dice. Like I mean, like how many tokens are you supposed to buy? You could because I think with the Guy's Blessing you could just ambitiously make like 55 tokens.
Yeah. Well, you just be like me. Me and Chris Mason bought out Star City of Brand Snap Sandwiches tokens.
Okay.
So I had like 500. I have 500. So I've got everything covered. Unless it's like one of those insane storm goblin. What's the goblin storm card? Some of those decks make like literal infinity goblins.
Oh, Empty the Warrens, yeah.
Yeah. Anything short of that, I am good.
So we have Argothian Enchantress from Ryan. I don't know if it's resolved or if the scroll rack is in response. I think it might still be on the stack. Here it is a counterspell.
So it, but he can counterspell it. Yeah.
So the Andrew Walker has just shed a tear as the Argothian Enchantress gets countered.
Yeah. I mean, these games have been so lopsided. The potency of both of these decks has been shown, but like not in the same games. They've just been steamrolling each other.
We have a subscription from JSS King saying, "Yo, what's up, PSS? Numbers looking good as they should be." Yeah, we do have 96 viewers, which I am very thankful for, and also, especially after all the tech snafus that we've had. Thank you everyone for sticking around and enjoying some pre-modern with us. So.
He's not even cutting. Cole isn't even offering to cut anymore. He just is like, nope. Let's just get this over with. Let's go. 2 mana. My God.
We got the Guy's Blessing, so he's putting in the counter spells.
He's even putting me a null back. Yep. Yeah, might as well, right?
So Chad is asking what decks got banned. The Rock got banned from BK, and then Ryan's Stasis deck was banned. So
thankfully, because these matches could have gone long, and or this match, and it really didn't.
yeah,
with Stasis, God knows how long. Although I guess with the speed at which these guys are willing to concede, it probably would have been okay.
I don't think Stasis is that slow. There are definitely like certain spots where you kind of like are figuring out how things are going to go, but like once the Stasis is in play, it's usually not too difficult to do your turns because really you're not able to cast that many spells. So
right. It's just do you counter their one thing or not?
yeah. So during the bans, Ryan sent his bans to me in the form of GIFs. And I didn't realize it at first. First of all, I also just like will scroll past those a lot of times. It was in our group chat, but it was Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and then it said then was something with like canceled or whatnot. And I asked him, I'm like, all right, when are you gonna give me what deck you've banned? And he's like, I already did. I'm like scrolling through the text with him. I'm like, I don't see it. He's like, and then I'm like, oh, now I understand. So
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, his meme game is strong to quite strong. Yeah. I still can barely figure out how to paste a fucking GIF on mine. I still call them GIFs most of the time. So. I
usually do, but I so.
I just however I'm feeling in the moment. Sometimes it's GIF, sometimes it's GIF. I don't care. I don't even know what it is. Now I'm second guessing myself. What is it?
It's GIF.
Oh, it is GIF.
Right? That's the...
See, now we don't even know. Like, if we confused ourselves. Chat, what is it?
I'm pretty sure...
Peanut butter?
I'm pretty sure the way I think of it is wrong, and I usually think of it as GIF.
Same. Okay, that's exactly how I think of it.
Yes.
That's kind of how I think of most things in the world. Like, if I think about doing it, or should be doing it, or it might be right, I just know that it's probably wrong, and I do the opposite. It's the George Costanza philosophy. It served me well-ish in life.
All right. So...
I think he's upkeep, tutoring.
Yeah, the replenish got foiled, and then now what does it feel like when your silver bullet with Enlightened Tutor is a Phyrexian Furnace?
Yeah. If
that's the optimal card to get, I think BK is kind of sitting pretty like.
That's pretty much the cherry on top. If the optimal play is Enlightened Tutor for Phyrexian Furnace, GG's.
All right, the furnace comes down. It will slowly grind
furnace hits
the Godfather into oblivion.
What counter? He shuffled all the counters back in too, so there's another. He shuffled a counter and then an all back. Guess we just had so many good answers, and he's ancestraling every turn. So.
Mm-hmm. It's not beyond the ancestral. I mean, it's like even more than ancestral because you're getting 3 additional cards, but then then you can change those like 7 into 7 new looks if you really need to find one card.
Right. Exactly. Keep that fetch handy for a rainy day.
Chat's chiming in about the GIF debate. The creator says GIF, but overwhelmingly popular usage is GIF. There's GIF. Sorry.
Yeah, it's GIF, right?
Yeah. No, it's
that's what the kids say. The kids say GIF.
Yes,
yeah.
But the technically correct is GIF.
Okay, so basically, I'm right whichever way I do it. I'm technically correct, or I'm socially correct. So, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm hedged. Wait, he cracked that fetch? Ballsy. There's no fucks.
Is it just because now his land text? Oh.
Oh no! I mean, I would have just kept it around for. Maybe his hand's so loaded, it doesn't matter. But like you said, in a pinch, if he had to dig, he could fetch again. Oh no, because he doesn't have a second scroll rack, so it actually doesn't even matter. Never mind. Yeah. Whatever. He probably has one in his hand, but actually, he probably keeps scroll racking it away because it's irrelevant.
Chat's talking about the art on Phyrexian Furnace. They say it looks like a dude who is peeking through the curtains at an open mic night. I definitely do. That does look like a microphone. That's what I think of, like in the card preview. Yeah.
Oh, you put it up? the stream?
Yeah, I've had on the card preview for the stream. Yeah.
Oh, let's see. It does, yeah. Is that a microphone? It's got to be.
I don't
Did
know.
you get that commission? Did you get that commission for PSS?
Do they have like open mic night in Phyrexia or something? But yeah, I just saw like BK just like drawing. It looked like 6 cards. So yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna see a generation. I think Ryan's gonna make him have it. This could be it. 4 mana.
Oh. I guess that is an answer to Argothian Enchantress.
Yeah.
But then now Ryan can start beating down with those. They're no longer 0/1s; they are 1/1s.
Right, they're arguably better, right?
Yeah.
1/1's better than 0/1, so I really thought that was gonna be generation.
I did too. There's still a chance.
2 cards. So he has 6. He has 8 total permanents or whatever going on, and including his cards in hand, permanents plus cards. And Kowal has like 25.
So I have a question about the spontaneous generation. Do you think there's a chance that BK just even takes that card out? Because like, you don't really need a way to kill Ryan. You can just not die, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like counter all his threats and furnace them away, and then just mill him out with like by looping Guy's Blessing or just not decking yourself, kind of thing. I don't know if that's his plan. It might be one of those things where it is optimal because then you get like a more high impact card, but it would just make the games go away longer.
I'm sure it's optimal, right? I'm sure he took it out. It's game 3, right? He can't pull punches. I'm trying to figure out what it's there for. Like, what we need to close fast against.
Well, decks that that can either force something through or like it also. I don't know if it would be a good stabilization card because against those decks you probably don't have that many cards in hand.
Right. 4 mana, make 4 1/1s. Oh, here it is. It's in his deck. It's getting cast. Oh, we're gonna see the tokens.
Oh, we got.
Oh no! Random fucking pro player tokens. Are any of them Brams?
I did not see it. So I saw a Mike Herberholtz, Tomohiro Saito, Raph Levy.
There's a Kai in there.
Yep, there's a Mike Cron, Frank Karsten. I see Chris McDaniel, and who's the one below Kai? I didn't see that one. Might be Shuhei. I think it's Shuhei. So a variety of pro players.
That honestly, now that it's happened, that should have been the most likely thing, right? Yeah. That's actually perfect.
Yeah. Well, and he clearly doesn't have any Braum tokens, is because you bought them all.
Right. We cornered the market. It's just a long con. We're gonna get them all. I'm gonna popularize them and then flip them out.
Do you want to make a public statement on how much you're selling? If someone in the PSS chat is interested in purchasing some Braum tokens from you, what is the going price?
My spot in the PSS chat. I go on in 10 minutes. Who wants the spot? Open the bidding. Yeah, Bram. I mean, whatever. I have a resting offer for Bram tokens. I don't know. I'd sell them for like $8, $8 a piece.
Okay.
I'll start there.
What if Braum himself wants some from you?
Whew, I'd cut him a deal.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
I think.
I do want to get him on ATC. I think that'd be just amazing. I couldn't tell you any of his decks or any of his finishes. I know he has 4 top 8s or whatever, but I also know he's probably the worst decorated player in the Hall of Fame, except for maybe Randy. But Randy has so many intangibles and quit playing so early and went to Wizards and all that stuff, so it's kind of a different animal. But player resume-wise, his is like by far the worst. But he's still number 1 in my heart.
I wouldn't say it's like his resume is bad. It's just that it's quieter. I guess that's kind of the way. Like he had a very consistent run where he was just qualified for all the pro tours, and he had multiple all his top 8s are spread out, and so he's just a very consistent player. Let me know when he is done flogging me.
He's not done yet.
The life totals are going down though, so.
I can't even tell if those tokens are sideways or not.
Yeah, it's just.
I can't even tell.
You look at the board state, and it just kind of looks. It looks like BK is like organizing his cards, and he's just like broadcasting it on the web. So
that's what I mean. And meanwhile, Ryan has fucking 6 permanents in play. 7 now. Okay, 0-1, 1-1. That'll resolve. That resolves.
Yeah, I love the. Some of them, I guess, just have vigilance. So. All right.
All right. Now the real question is he going to trade? Is he going to trade for a token with his Enchantress?
Does it
You
change?
have to, right? You got
Does
to
it
slow
change
that
the
clock down.
clock? I think.
Counting.
I think it keeps him alive. I think he's at 9, and there's 9 tokens.
Yeah, he has to.
Which one do you block?
Yeah, that is a huge, huge decision.
Do you block Kai? Is that like demoralizing? That like the squad's like, oh no, we lost Kai. This might be going poorly.
Yeah, I think you have to block Kai. I think.
I would say like Mike Cron is like from Madison, so maybe that's the best way to kind of needle BK. Be like take out the guy that's closest to him. I don't know.
Also a great point. That's also a great point.
Okay.
Who's he blocking? Block.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's letting him choose?
I don't know.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake. Oh, he's saying which one?
Okay, Raph Levy.
Raphael.
Okay.
Goodbye. That's a decent block.
Yes.
I'll take it. It's not the worst block, but also not the best block.
I think Raph is probably the best fighter. I think he does like jujitsu. So maybe that's the reason. Kai or Heezy. I don't really think there's many wrong answers of who to block.
Still had all these land taxes. Still had all this stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, this is all but over. But
these were fun games, but they were 3 non-games. At least we got to see this generation and these pro player tokens.
So does BK the next time? Does he just attack with all the tokens, or does he just attack with one?
Sadly, Ryan's at 9, so we have to do another.
No, he's at 1. No, he's at 1 now. Sorry, I didn't update the light total. I'm looking at Ryan's guy. Yeah,
that's
like,
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, BK doesn't have his updated, and Ryan does. So
which one does he attack with?
I think it would be Micron. If BK were in charge, I think it would be the Madison player. Or
I think you're
he
right.
used to live in Madison. I don't think he does anymore. Nope. The scoop phase has been entered.
Wait, no, you have to let him attack.
BK's trying.
He's
hanging out at the Sylvan Library. So, all right.
All right. You want me to drop off this, and you can work on.
So yeah, let's do a quick wrap up because obviously we are way behind on schedule. So thanks for joining in with me and doing this. But yeah, I'm gonna go to an intermission and I'm gonna try and see if I can use this thing to update the drivers. I don't know if it will make me restart the computer, but even if worse comes to worse, then we'll just do the same call with Mike and then Flint will be later. So. I think at least for the casting portion, we'll have something to do. And then definitely by next week, I'll have things figured out where we can at least talk to the players. So if you just want to let them know in the chat that we haven't figured out audio issues to the point where we can talk to them. So we'll have to get their insight maybe in a future time. But so
right. I'll drop from this call. I'll message the chat and tell them, and you ping me if and when it's time for me to go.